Hello there, UURMaPA friends. I'm Jaco Tenhove, one of the board members of UURMaPA and editor of the Elderberries newsletter.
And I am Barbara Wells Tenhove, married to Jaco, and the chair of the nominating committee.
I first experienced Fred Small in the late 1980s as a fabulous folk singer who came through Seattle periodically to do fun and inspiring one-man shows that pulled me into his sphere. So I tried hard to learn how to play a few of his powerful songs like Everything Possible, Leslie is Different, Father's Song, Cranes Over Hiroshima, and Peace Is, all of which I offered in UU settings over the years. I always felt expanded and edified by his sing-alongs and especially his story songs, such as Talking Wheelchair Blues and Larry the Polar Bear. Truly a gift, Fred's music. Also in the 1980s, I was director of UURO Junior High Summer Camp in Western Massachusetts, and Fred would come by every other year to play for the whole camp. What an event it would be to see him lifting up those young people, and all of us, with messages that were so UU. It wasn't much later that he moved into UU ministry, totally coherently, I'd say, with great raptures of joy from those of us who knew how well he inherently understood and expressed our theologies.
Before embarking on the folk singer path, Fred earned an undergraduate degree from Yale, and then more degrees in law and natural resources from Michigan, and he served as a staff attorney for the Conservation Law Foundation. After umpteen years on the folk singer path, in the late 90s, Fred entered Harvard Divinity School, during which time, oh, by the way, he designed the UU Green Sanctuary program. After a 1999 ordination and 9 years at his first UU congregation in Littleton, Massachusetts, he was then called to our Cambridge, Mass. Congregation for 7 more.
During the George W. Bush years of the early and mid-2000s, when Barbara and I were co-ministers at Paint Branch UU Church on the Maryland side of the D.C. Beltway, Fred and I found each other at one of the many rather futile but necessary anti-war demonstrations that tried to stir the nation's capital, and that was an eventful day.
And most recently, last December, Jaco and I were part of the Pacific Northwest Winter Camp, Elliott Institute at Seebeck, out our way on the Hood Canal in Washington State, where we enjoyed Fred as theme speaker for his program called Give Light, Spiritual Nurture for Climate Activism. It was really fine to have him around all day, all week, which is unfortunately not in the cards for us this week, sadly. But we'll be happy for what we can experience of his good and timely work, which is considerable. In 2015, Fred left parish ministry to devote his energies to creation care and climate advocacy, and he now serves as Minister for Climate Justice at Arlington Street Church, Boston, and also as Executive Director of Massachusetts Interfaith Power and Light, an education and activist group that sees ecological healing and environmental justice as a sacred responsibility.
The noted American environmentalist, author, and journalist Bill McKibben calls Fred, quote, one of the true stalwarts of the fight against climate change in this country. And I am proud to call Fred a friend and colleague. These days, we may have to live more or less by ourselves, but we can gather friends around like this and choose one special one to speak to us of how the only measure of our words and our deeds will be the love we leave behind when we're done, even as we strive to move our culture and our world toward a visionary breakthrough. So take it away, Fred, and thanks.